Okay, so I have now got my wing finished, and you can see I have all the different layering techniques, and then I have a piece of ribbon here that I've ruched, okay, and I've joined on the top, which that then will get joined onto my bird's body. So I have connected both parts of the bodies together. I've joined on the triangle for the beak and the little eye, and that's the back, that's the front facing. Okay, so what I've done is I've done blanket stitch around the edges here, and I'm going to use a little bit of maybe some ribbon here, some white ribbon or a little piece of string to hang the bird up on as well. So I might actually do that now, where I can tie a big knot here on this. I should have probably done this before I had stitched all of the edges together, but I can still do it now. It's not a big problem to put it into the bird now. I've tried to have a nice opening for each stitch, where it's not too big, otherwise the stuffing will fall out of the bird. So there's a little hole here, and with my pencil I am going to tape the bit of string to the tip of the pencil, and that then will help me to position it where I want it to be in one of the stitch gaps. So there it is there, and I am just going to pull it through like so, and then the knot won't come through there because the knot is too big and it won't allow it to pull out. And I can just take the tape off, and there I have my little piece of the way I'm going to hang my bird up. So I'm going to continue with my blanket stitch going around. So I stitch up from the back and loop the thread around, and this is the floss that I'm using here, and I'm trying to keep a nice even stitch and a nice even spacing as well. So I'm coming from the back, looping around, pulling the thread through, coming from the back, looping around. Now before I joined on the two parts, I did a piece of couching in a zigzag way along here with the same coloured thread, so that it would recreate maybe some of the feathers on the bird. I could have used some other stitches along the tail to add more texture and detail, and I could have done other colours along the chest of the bird as well. I just decided I would focus on the wing for this bird, but there's nothing to stop you from adding more to your designs and doing different embroidery techniques on the flat bird before you join it together. Also, some buttons can be nice. I have a nice round bead for the eye where I just stitched that on so that it wouldn't fall off. And I am now getting to the final stitch before I can stuff wadding into the bird. So I'm ready now to stuff this bird. So I have some old stuffing from a pillow here, and I'm just going to tease it apart so that it's got volume and shred it. You can buy stuffing in wadding that's not been reused, but I find that a pillow works just fine if it's an old one, and you can just, if you're changing out your pillows, it's a good way to use the wadding that was inside, because they can compact over time, you know yourself. So again, I'm going to try and keep my thread long, and I'm going to use my pencil to poke the wadding into the head of the bird, and you can see now that that is actually filling the head up nicely, like so. And again, I'm going to stuff in another section. And you don't want to have your wadding so full that it's going to burst your seams. You want it to be nicely filled, but not too full. Because again, if it's too full, the wadding will be seen, and that won't make for an attractive finished product. So again, it's important to tease out the wadding, stuff and pack in like this until you are satisfied that it feels solid and a nice kind of form to it. So again, I can see now that that is feeling like it's nicely packed. I might put in another little bit in here just to be sure, like so. And this is where the knot was initially, so I'm going to just trim that away. Okay, and now I can continue chain stitching, or blanket stitching, sorry, the edge. Now, just trying to keep that held. You may like to pin it down to temporarily hold it in place so it's a little bit easier to grip. Like so. I have only decorated on one side of my bird, but again, you could decorate both of the sides at this to look symmetrical and the same, if you wanted to spend a little bit longer on the project. And I'm looping around. Like so. And then I'm going to do a little extra stitch in here. To keep it together. So I can put a little knot in here like so. So I'm going to do a little loop, 1, 2, and then I'm going to stitch my needle through that like so to keep it in place. And then I will just stitch it away. Now I will remove the needle, and then that now is a fairly finished bird. All I have to do now is join the wing on, and now you can see when I stitch my wing on that I will have lots of detail on that, and that will actually suit a more simplified bird.